What is going on, you guys? I am back like I never left. Once again, thank you for tuning in. I am on to another book. It has been a month, and I am on The People Factor, which I am excited to talk about. Give you this little bit of a review or summary of The People Factor, which I think is a really good book that I could read over and over, which obviously I've only read it twice, but I could probably read it again. And I think it'll be a goal for me, probably read it again in another year. Who knows? I don't know. But I love this book for so many different reasons. I mean, it's a book on relationships. That's always a tough one, just dealing with trying to understand people and trying to understand yourself and who you are in a relationship. So I thought this was a really good book to read, especially with everything going on now. I mean, keeping something positive in my head, and really kind of going through different things as far as how I can build myself up better to be the great person that I was created to be. So why not read a book about relationships? And what's also amazing about this book is that at the end of every single chapter, there are bullet points of like summaries that you can kind of go back to, and there are also questions that you can ask yourself as well as others in relationships around you to kind of gain more insight to the different opportunities that could be available to deepen a relationship. And I think that's cool that this book offers that, because relationships, they take work, and this book is one of those that really opens your eyes to many different relationships found in the Bible and how we can utilize them in everyday life. And I think that's important to note because, I mean, we all know the Bible is a book that could be read every single year and you can get something different out of it. But it's amazing, um, the different relationships that they show of in the Bible in this book. So I'm excited to talk about that too. But the information that you can receive from this book can be for any type of relationship, whether that is a boyfriend or a girlfriend, husband or wife, friendships, relationships with family and loved ones, people that are distant. Like, it's a relationship book, and I think that's the great part about this book. You can use it for a lot of different things. So there are 3 points that I want to hit on, and I'm gonna go ahead and start with the first point, which is critical laws of relationships. So this section really lists about 10 laws of relationships. I'm not going to go into all 10. My goal is to give you a couple of different laws that I felt like hit for me personally, or I felt like I really wanted to share. Because the other part of me doing these summaries and book reviews is for you to gain an idea of what the book is about without getting every single thing that's in the book. I want you to have your own opinion of the book. So why not share bits and pieces of what I got out of it so that you can say, maybe I'll go read it myself, and then I'll inform my own opinion about it, which I think is amazing. That's pretty much how I live my life. I mean, I get information from social media or books or podcasts or videos that I watch, and I go research it myself, or I go read it myself, or I go watch it myself to gain a more detailed opinion of what I really thought about it. So that's kind of what I want to do with these books and summaries. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into the critical laws of relationship, the ones that really hit me. The first one is be you. I mean, that's kind of self explanatory, right? But it can be tough. The best way to find realness in a relationship is working on being real with yourself. We have to learn to be real with ourselves before we can really get into who we are in a relationship. I mean, transparency is important. I mean, think about superhero movies. Think about Superman. He had to play Clark Kent and he had to play Superman. So it was tough to be real when you couldn't really give your whole self to people because you wanted to protect them from the very villains that were trying to kill you. And the battles in those stories, they're about the villains, but it's also about the battles that they deal with trying to be superheroes as well as their own real selves. So it can be tough, and you learn how to be yourself, and you see the realness in others as well. I love this quote, and I just wanted to kick it in this section, of course. But there's a quote that goes, "Be yourself, everyone else is taken." I mean, that's something that I try to live by as often as I can, because I think it's one of those real quotes. I mean, we kind of try to dive into this life of comparison and want to compare ourselves, and social media is saying this and this person is saying that, when it's just like, be yourself, learn who you are, be you. There's something so authentic about that and amazing in itself. So I'm going to leave that point because I feel like that's a point that I could kind of talk through for a minute. But another critical law of relationships is mutual benefit. So the success of any relationship depends on having two people who both give and receive. It requires mutual pursuit and joint benefit. Man, that sounds tough, right? I would think that would involve a lot of communication in my eyes. Being in a mutual relationship shows that no one's cup is empty. We feed off of each other. It's kind of amazing because you never think about it until you're in like that amazing like relationship with somebody, and you feel like you're weak in one area but they're strong in that area, so you guys are able to pull each other up. There's something amazing about being in a mutual beneficial relationship when it comes to that. So just like the saying, iron sharpens iron, I mean, it's really true. So it produces a synergy where when you come together, you produce something greater than anyone could ever produce alone. We're not created to be alone. We are relational beings. So being able to find that other person or friendship or relationship that really makes, when you come together, it makes such a great thing compared to alone. I think it's an amazing feeling, and it's an amazing possibility that's out there. We just have to work to get to it, of course. And another critical law of relationships is being like-minded about what matters. And I think this is huge, because to be in the kind of agreement required for a great relationship is to be mutually committed to the values, the foundational issues, and the matters of character you regard as non-negotiable. An important thing that matters in relationships is integrity. Integrity has 4 ingredients that they delve into in this book. And those ingredients are unwavering commitment of truth, absolute refusal to compromise one's values, complete dedication to pure motives, and a passionate, consistent pursuit of excellence. These are tough ingredients to kind of work through, but when you understand them and really dive into them with somebody else, I mean, it could make such a amazing relationship, I would think. It is definitely not easy to recognize these ingredients in a world where people tend to hide who they really are. And not to sound repetitive, but working towards being a person of integrity helps you gain insight into what it looks like in others. I mean, think about it. If you kind of learn how to be true to yourself and authentic and being loyal and being honest with people, you learn to see and kind of discern that through other people as well. And you can't tell me like that's not an amazing feeling, or just to know how to do that, because I think it's something that we kind of truly have to learn to work on a daily basis. And it's not something that you learn quick, just like that. It takes work. And I feel like I'm going to be saying that throughout the whole summary, but this all takes work. But these things are possible. And I truly believe that. I may not have all of these, But when you kind of talk through them and thinking of the idea of how this could be amazing, you get excited and you want to push towards the hope of being in some pretty great, amazing relationships. It's exciting. So, another critical law of relationship that I wanted to point out is letting go of the past. Your past does not define you, nor does it dictate your present or your future. The word baggage comes to mind as I was reading this section. I mean, a lot of people have baggage that they have suppressed over the years. Instead of learning from it or understanding why it is there, we allow it to affect our current and future relationships. And I can honestly say, and I can attest to that, it is frustrating. It's tough. So we have to learn how to not let it shape our lives. When you feel like things are happening over and over again, maybe it's a time for you to ask kind of, what lessons have I not learned in this situation? So it's important to learn how to let go of the past, because the past does not dictate your future or your present. So always keep that in mind. Another law that I really wanted to point out is, man, it's the law of selectivity when it comes to relationships. This is that, to put it in my own words, the spirit of discernment. It's the snapshot of your future is taken with the people of your present. Your today dictates your tomorrow. So selectivity is being discerned about the people you allow into your inner circle of your life. This chapter shows you ways to be selective about relationships that you have, and how not making good choices on those relationships can be pretty disastrous. Have you ever jumped into a relationship so fast and realized too late that it was not what you expected? Yeah, pretty sure we all have. So these laws can be pretty tough to follow, but in the end, they benefit you as a person in finding better relationships while also becoming a better person within. Nothing wrong with that, right? I agree. Another critical law relationship, and I think this is the final one that I kind of want to give you, that I got from the book, but sacrifice. We must defeat two specific enemies if we are going to sacrifice in ways that honor God and benefit our relationships. And those two are comfort and convenience. And even just saying that out loud, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and push through that part. In order for a good relationship to become everything that God has ordained it to be, we have to learn to sacrifice to reach our full potential. And that takes work. There will be several times when comfort and convenience will have to be sacrificed within the relationship, and it is a matter of continually knowing when to make that decision. There are times when we are not going to be comfortable, but it may be something that is beneficial to the other person, or you want to be of support to another person, and that involves sacrifice. We're not going to always be comfortable. We're not going to always be at a convenient time when it comes to dealing with other people and the life that they have going on. So you have to learn how to sacrifice comfort and convenience for the right relationships. I truly believe that. It makes so much more sense now reading this book. So the second part of the book that I kind of wanted to dive into was kind of how to make the most difficult choices and when it comes to relationships. You know, it's tough. So when and how to end unhealthy relationships, it's kind of hard kind of trying to figure that out. So regardless of the reasons for a separation, we sometimes need to ask or allow someone who was once valuable or a vital part of our lives to leave because a once positive association has now become negative. We've all had those moments, right? We have to learn to notice the signs of when a relationship has gone bad and be just as truthful about the differences and what caused the end of a relationship, so that we can learn how, so that we can end those unhealthy relationships and move on towards the more positive relationships. Recognizing who is around for the long term, it's something that is stressed in this book in several different chapters. But when you understand who is around for the long term, you have a greater and better idea of what the Bible says is what is considered a covenant partner. You learn that people around are around for a specific reason and a specific purpose, and that is okay. But we must learn a distinction between the two, for a specific season or a specific purpose. It's kind of a tough one, but it's possible to kind of figure it out through time and kind of being aware of it all. So the book kind of explains that a covenant partner is someone who can accept the change, does not run away from difficulty, trusts God, trusts you, trust themselves, and will help and not harm you. We have to learn the spirit of discernment when it comes to relationships. And that was stated previously, but it's something that it's important, obviously. A third point, and the last point that I want to hit on, is the essentials of a great relationship. Process of great relationships. Great relationships are not born overnight. They take time. But it's worth it in the end. They require us to be willing to sacrifice something new and better than anything we have known before. And I think that's what's so amazing about putting the work into pretty good or great relationships. So we learn how to embrace the process, and in the end, it turns out to be a blessing. In a healthy relationship, both participants focus equally on the other. They both understand the relationship and want to give themselves to it to keep it from being one-sided. So it's important to learn how to give as well as receive in a relationship. And people would say a relationship is 50-50. No, a relationship is 100-100, meaning you give your all, they give their all, and you really put in the work to make it a great relationship. And no, it's not easy, but it is possible. And I say that. I believe it. I truly do. But the people factor, y'all. This is a great book, and that is all of the summary that I wanted to provide. So thank you again for tuning in. Please subscribe. I am here excited, and my next book, I'm still waiting on it to come in the mail. There's been a lot of issues with COVID or whatever, but my next book is called Wholesome, and it is by Touré Roberts, which is the husband of Sarah Jakes Roberts. And I intentionally made this book my last one because I am so excited about how great this book is, and it kind of dives right off of this relationship topic and into being your whole self and who you are. So I think you guys are going to really love it. So I'm going to leave it there. If you guys have any recommendations about any books that you want me to share, or you would just want me to read, feel free to comment. Let me know. I am truly excited to get into different books. If you have any recommendations on the different topic for the next quarter, this is my last book for this quarter, so I have to choose another topic, and I'm not sure what I want to choose yet. But if you have any opinions or any recommendations or of a different topic that you want to see or hear about, feel free to drop the comments below. I am here. Once again, I thank you guys for listening and checking out. And you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe, be blessed. Enjoy.